Okay, hey people, welcome to the channel, and in this case talking about these solar generators, these battery banks, these packs that allow you to power your devices, your appliances even when there's a power outage. Now, having owned a few of these for some time now, they are probably the best, most handy tool you can have during a power outage. It's really no secret. Generators, I've always had this thing of, you need the fuel, they're complex machines, it's a motor and whatnot. Not only that, the gas. This is nothing like that. It's completely silent, just does whatever it needs, and they keep on getting better and better. Full disclaimer, these two have been sent for reviewing. This one was paid out of my pocket, very expensive when it first came out, and it was one of these earlier models. So that does not change my opinion one bit. If I think there's something that's not worth my time, let alone yours, I won't even bother. If I do like the product, I say, yeah, sure, send me one. I'll see how it goes, and I'll let people know about it. No problem with that, no conflict of interest. Either I buy it myself or it's sent for reviewing. This goes for flashlights, for knives, for whatever it is, all right? Just want to clarify on that. One more thing before I go on. As always, if you want to learn more about preparedness and survival, you have the channel with a ton of information. Do yourself a favor, subscribe to the channel. If you are not sure still, wait until the end of this video. And if you think you learned something interesting, maybe then do subscribe. You have my books, as I always say, Surviving the Economic Collapse, 3 Survival Skills. That's the Spanish version over there, because I was just doing the Spanish version of this same video. And then you have, right, these ones would be for the English crowd. One more thing, there is another book that I just have published. I don't even have a copy myself. It's this book I was telling you guys about, Lucas Dreams, a children's book. You could say it's a little bit of a based children's book. I think it's more of a classic values children's book. It is a children's book. It is intended for reading for a 5-year-old child or a younger child or whatever you want to read a children's book to, of whatever age. I have three sons. I've read to all 3 of them. I'm still doing that. It's a beautiful tradition. People often, you have to take your son shooting. Yeah, shooting is nice. Reading is even better, especially for the mental development of a child. I said in a previous video that I had this book in my head for 2 years. My wife heard me do that video and said, no, you spent 4 years with this thing. All right, so it was 4 years in what's only 34 pages and very little text. I spent many years thinking about the exact words I would want a child to remember, and combining it with some watercolors and drawings and whatnot. It's one of those things that I'm pretty passionate about. I really want to make something that a child would remember, very, very basic but very important things of what constitutes a good man, what constitutes a good woman, a good person, basically, right? And also those distinctions of what each one is supposed to be in life, and those things that are the woke mind virus is trying to rip away from us. This book of mine, Lucas Dreams, is intended to be a cure for that, especially for a child. A child will remember things from this very early stage, and I think those are the things I want. I mean, the book was written for my son. It's literally called Lucas Dreams because my youngest son is called Lucas, and it has little lessons that I always wanted him to learn. Now, as my wife correctly said, time has gone by since so he's a little bit older than that, but still I'm gonna read it to him. And if you want to read this book of mine to your kids as well, there you go. You will have the link there below. I still don't even have a copy. Guys, let's get to this. These things are great. I love them. And as I was saying before, the ability to power your appliances during a power outage, I just had a little thing going on there for a few hours, giving me the opportunity to try these again. This is the one that I'm doing the video about now. But the other one, all powers over there, I've been using that one for a while now. No problems, no complaints. They're very similar. There's just 2 numbers really that you already powered out. Okay, so it's automatically saving quite a bit there. there's two things you need to remember about these things, two numbers. The watts that it's capable of working on, that's going to depend on, let's say, if you have a laptop. If you have a laptop, any of these things will just connect, no problem. But what if I'm using like a lamp? What if it's one of these old bulbs that has like a 60 watt, 100 watt? A 100 watt lamp, that's what's going to consume, right, 100 watts per hour, all right? It's that consumption that it has. It's not the one, it's what it needs to run. It needs to run at 100 watts, all right? If you have a drill, for example, I have a very powerful corded drill, 500 watts, right? So you need something that provides those 500 watts. But you also need to remember the surge. This is the initial moment in which you power the drill that's gonna jump not to 500, but maybe 1,000, maybe 1,500. It's not uncommon that it jumps to 3 times in that initial surge for that little electric device to initially power up for that first second, all right? That is the number that tells you. If you have a drill that is 500 watts and you have a 600 watt device like this one, it's not going to power it. Certainly not. There's no chance it's going to happen because at least it's going to need double or triple, all right? So this one here this is an 2,400 watts. They are 1,500, that is an 1,800 watts. So you have a lot more watt outage in the aphery, I guess it's the way in which you're supposed. So it's quite a bit more powerful. Now, this is no surprise. These things keep evolving. The EcoFlow over here, this is like, 600 watts, and it really has 288 watt hour of battery. That's the other number you need to keep in mind. So first, how many watts do I need? Do I need to power a fridge? Okay, 100 watts give or take these days. I need a drill, 500 watts. What about a coffee machine? Coffee machines, they're super greedy. A coffee machine will, some of these, espresso things, it's maybe 1,000 watts that it needs. No joke, those things require a lot. Not for a lot of time, but initial surge pretty high. The other number is the one that I was just telling you, that watt hour. How many juice do I have? What's the size of the battery in each of these things? That's going to tell you how long you will be able to power these devices, depending if it's 100 watts, 50 watts, 6 watts. And here's where you want maximum efficiency in all of your appliances. For example, if there's a power outage, one of the things I need is something to power my router, which is not very demanding, but I recently had it replaced by the company. They gave me, this is a lot more efficient. This more green version. And it was, the green bullshit thing. But what do you know, the moment I needed to power it with one of these little things, a smaller one that I have over there, it was it went from lasting like 5 hours to like 8 or 9 hours because it's a lot more efficient. Right, just sipping like 3 watts or something like that. Super efficient compared to the previous one. So anything that is becoming more power efficient and less demanding is a big win. This thing has 2,400 watts and it has 2,048 watts hour of battery. That's the amount of juice this thing has, the aphery. Now the All Powers AAR 1500 has 1,152 watt hour. So you have quite a bit more battery in this thing. Now this one I have for a longer time. This one has been recently sent for reviewing and it seems to work just fine. But at least the way I see it, it's the time that will give me that confidence on, okay, I can trust this thing. This one was actually, and ironically enough, this was never sent for reviewing by the company, but it was one of those things. There was a recall very soon after it came out, something about overheating and whatnot. And again, really not all that power. So the EcoFlow River, at least for me, was, it's still okay. And I know that the company had like a battery pack that you added to it, still not even close to these things. But again, let me be fair, things have evolved over time. They're great. You can just, a washing machine that's caught right in the middle, you just plug it and it just starts throwing up. And when you combine these things with a solar panel, that's what gives you a lot of independence. This is the step before you go into a full solar power setup for your house. There's a couple little differences, but very similar too. The display on both of these things is quite similar. There's no massive difference. Oh, I cannot believe how different this one does have on top, like these charging ports. That's cool. This one has the lights up front, which is actually a lot more convenient. Sometimes you want to have a little bit of power right there. So that's nice to have. The sockets here in the front, I'm still not sure if I want them on the front or I want to have a cleaner table to work with while plugging the things on the side like I have over there. They both charge super fast. When connected to the power grid, it goes up to 1,000 watts, and then it just drops to finish charging like around 400, 500 in both cases. So very, very similar, both of these devices. The biggest difference is that this has just a lot more juice, a lot more power. This has been super nice for me, and I really appreciate it. So yeah, I really have nothing bad to say about this one. And I just need more time to feel the same way I feel about this one with the bigger, more powerful model. These are the things that you only get when you try it, recharge it, try it again, and then eventually you go, yeah, this is super solid. Now, on the bright side, it does come with a proper warranty and whatnot. You can extend that for 7 years. These things are built to last a good amount of time, and at least the way I see it, I'd rather have this with a solar panel than have a gas generator. I get it. If you have a gas generator, as long as you keep on throwing gas in the thing, keeps on running. That can be a big advantage. If you plan accordingly, like I do, you really don't need that much. I can just get by with these. Now, it's not going to be a full solar power setup in my house, right? But for getting by, as rarely as power outages as they are, right? Depending on where you live in the world, but in some places it is pretty freaking rare. Now, this is a channel about preparedness. We try to get ready for these things. These things will really give you a lot of peace of mind. Your fridge, you can power this thing, your fridge, for several hours. Again, depending on the side and how demanding the fridge is. But also, a little final tip here. If you're gonna go for freezer, buy a chest freezer, the one that opens on top. Cold air drops like a rock, and those freezers that open on top will preserve a lot more that cold air. If you have a good amount of mass in that freezer, just powering one of these things for, let's say, a couple hours in the morning, couple hours in the afternoon, maybe an hour or so at night, you can go by several days with just one charge of these things, not even taking into account the use of the solar panel. It's going to depend on the size of the freezer, how much food you have, how much frozen stuff there is in there, how hot it is, if you live in a tropical environment, or hell, you live in a cold place where you don't even need a freezer because your freezer is the outdoors. Other than that, guys, they are great devices. I really like them, and my growing appreciation for this sort of technology is something I feel very comfortable sharing with you folks. Guys, that's going to be all for now. Subscribe to the channel if you like this video. You have the button over there. Books are going to be there below, and Lucas Streams, even though I still don't have the book physically to show you. If you want to see the cover, I'll leave the link there below as well. Guys, have a great day. Take care.